Right, good morning, good afternoon, Romeo golfers, whichever part of the world you're in, whatever time zone you're in. Just wanted to back up on last night's Zello conversations on 11DX. Now, there was a lot of stress, a lot of testosterone flying around, which was quite funny at times. Yeah, I know these things not easy when you first jump in, but I promise you, once you've got used to it, and it shouldn't take you that long. We're all fairly intelligent people. I think we know what we're doing most of the time. Once you've done a few of these, you will find it very, very easy. Now, I just want to run over a couple of the basics, and I'm going to presume a few things as we go along. Now, before I start, let me just say I've got a laptop, but it doesn't work. I don't have a PC, so all I ever use is my phone, or 99.9% of the time I use the iPad. And this is how it works on the iPad. It may be slightly different on laptop, PCs, Macs, whatever, depending on what you're using. But let's try and show you what I was trying to make the point of last night first, that you must do if you're going to get anywhere near putting a QSL card out there or receiving it. So obviously the first thing you do is you log in and you come to this screen. So the top box is the chat, which you can get rid of by hitting the little key over here, this little line that gets rid of that, so you don't have to look at that. These are the spots. Further down the page, this tells you who's online. These are the new people, or the new call signs that are on. This tells you how many activations of various descriptions, DXCCs, that's like special countries, IOTAs, islands on the air, SCS, special event stations. These are the things that they've got logged where people have given them information ready to do their activations. You've got a propagation tool here which tells you little bits about what's what, including the SFI, which is really high today at 247. It's up around the highest that we've had on this cycle so far. And in here is your distance and your bearings, where you can log in and measure distances between two calls. And the one thing that's really interesting is your eQSL inbox. Now, if you have any eQSLs, it will say how many new ones you've got. And over here, it tells you how many total you've got. So you can pick your eQSLs up from there. You hit this download button. But we'll look at that in a minute, because there's two ways of doing that as well. Right. So once you've logged in and you've got your account up and once you've got your account up and running and you've logged in, first thing you need to do is press this little man key, which brings up this drop box. Now, I think we're all aware of this because we've seen it a million times last night when we were trying to sort this out over the Zello. And the first thing you'll need to do is go to Profile. Now, in here, you've got all your personal information. So if you want to run 2 call signs, this is the box, or 3 or 4 call signs, this is the box that you need to be in. Now, I'm currently logged in under my old international radio call sign. To change that, I just tap on that box, delete it, change it to my Romeo Golf, and I can then start doing all my Romeo Golf work. You won't need to touch anything else in this box until you get down here, and you can, well, your email will be in there, I think, if I remember rightly, when you first do it, as well as the confirmation of your email. You can change that if you change your email or anything like that. The next 3 boxes are all to do with changing your password. If you change anything, you must save. Now we get to the really important bit. The next section down. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes to deal with. Right. Messaging. they allow a sort of an instant messaging which is done across your email. So if somebody wants to send you a message and you've agreed to this, it will send a message to your email. Drop down box for various options. You tell it yes or no. CRX mode, that's another cluster that's linked to 11DX. If you don't want your information to go on there, then press the no. If you do, fine. Now, this is the bit that's really important. For you to receive an eQSL, you must have this box sorted out properly. And this eQSL box, again, there's an option. Yes or no. Do you want to download your contacts or not? Well, of course, your QSL cards, not your contacts. But of course you do. So you have to press yes. Right? And the yes will come up in that box. Okay? That has got to be yes. This is the first thing you really should do, is change that to yes. I'm pretty sure default no. Because if you don't, it won't allow any downloading of QSL cards. And if you want to put a message on every QSL card that's exactly the same, then you tap your little message in the next box down. I've just got, thank you for the QSO, 73 from Birmingham, England. And that goes on every card I send out through 11DX. And then the final one is your distances. What do you want it shown in? Kilometres or miles. So I'm assuming you'll want miles. And save. Right? Now the next bit are just bits about your profile, where you are, province is your state if you're over in the States. If you want to, your ID, don't worry for Telegram, unless you want to use Telegram or you use Telegram, that's fine. If you do, put your Telegram ID in there. You can put your shack information in, your radio, your microphone, your antenna, your amplifier. Any message you want to send about your QSL information. And finally, if you've got any websites, you can put the URLs in there. Now, further back up here is a locator. Now, for that mileage thing to work, you have to use this locator. So open up the locator and you will get a map. And you need to put your pin where you are. Now, you can expand this map open and put it right on the roof of your house. Me living in a big built-up area of the big city of Birmingham, or on the edges of the big city of Birmingham, I don't particularly want mine showing exactly where I live. So I've got mine 2 miles down the road. I live in a town called Albury, which is on the extreme ends of Birmingham and the Black Country. So I've just got it in Albury town centre where all the main shopping area is and whatever. So you can put it in 10 mile up the road, 20 mile up the road. But put it obviously somewhere reasonably close to where you live. And once you've done that, again, hit the save button. Okay, so that's setting up your profile. Once that's all set up, and as I say, this eQSL one is important, because if you don't do it, your eQSL system won't work. Right, move on. So we'll go back to the little man again. Before you can send an eQSL, you've got to have an eQSL card. Okay, now that's fairly obvious. If you haven't got an eQSL card, the system can't send it. So if you go to this little man, and down here should be, now you've opened up this box here should be my eQSL. Now, last night we had an issue where I think it was Stacey couldn't find it. It wasn't in the options. And I think that's because he hadn't got this eQSL changed to yes. Now, once you've changed it to yes, you should get this my eQSL option. And you open up that. Now, what I've done is I've took out my QSL card. So you got these tips and tricks. I'm in 26IR 1801, as I say, my old international radio call. And it's asking me to upload a QSL card. Now, bear in mind your QSL card has got to be set within certain parameters. The image cannot be any more than it shouldn't be any more than 1651 by 163. You will find you might get 50 or maybe 100 either side of that. So you might want to put in a sort of 1700 by 1100, just so it fills the box. your resolution should be 300 dpi on a ratio of 14.9, but that's all pretty standard that will be done at. It needs to be a JPEG file. It can't be just a normal, I know Apple, when you take a photo on Apple, it comes up as an IMG file, an image file. So you need to switch that to use a converter to switch it to a JPEG. And again, it says down here JPEG, and you will need to compress it to 2 megabytes as well. There is software available for that. I'm not going to go into that here and now. If you want any info on that, let me know. Again, I can only give you what's available Apple-based, because I don't know what's available Android or Microsoft, what do they call it, Windows, whatever they call it these days. But anyhow, back to on this device, on IR, it asks you to upload an image. So it says here, no selected file. So if you tap on the little folder, it brings you up options. So I'm going to, where all mine are stored in my photo library. So I go to photo library and it brings up all my photos. And what I've done a subfolder with eQSL for clusters. And I just open that up. And these the ones that I've got saved for my various ones that I use regular for my various call signs, whether it be Romeo Golf, Romeo Charlie, Sugar Whiskey, or even if I still every now and again use my international radio. But from here you can choose then which one you want to use. So we're going to use this one. This is the one we want. So thank you very much. Is that the one you want? Yes. Well, that's done. So we do that, and then the image number is in there now. That's the number of the image concerned, and we upload the file. And there it is, fill in the box. Now the only other thing you need to do, these little dots on these little squares tell you where the the 11DX logo goes. You can't go without that. I want to put mine up here on the red bar of the flag, so I find the one where it's got a dot in the middle of the left hand side, and I tap that and it goes in there. So I've moved it round, and then obviously when you're happy, you hit the save. So that 26IR1801 has now got a QSL card sent in it. Right, let's go back to the front page. So you ready to go? So what do I do next? Right, so I'm on the phone. I'm not editing this stuff out. I just record these as live. On the front screen, we've obviously got the spots. Now you've got two ways of doing this. If you're on the I nearly said the phone again, on the radio, and you want to log a call. Let's say, for example, you're talking to, let's say you're talking to RG104, 2RG104, Mr. President, LGF, right? Okay, so what you do, you got two ways of logging in. There's a quick way and the normal way. If you want to put it on the spot so that people can see what's happening instantly, you can do it through this here. Now, only use this if you're either on the call or immediately after. Right? It's no good doing this 10 minutes later, because if you do this at whatever the time is now, 13 something, no, yeah, well, it's 13 something BST, British Summer Time. Obviously the log is in UTC, which is an hour behind BST. If you do this, say, at 5 o'clock tonight, obviously that spot's gone and missed it. It's too late. And when you do it through here, it automatically puts the time in. So if you're going to do it now, either while you're on the call or immediately that you've finished because you want to do it as a spot, you press the plus key. And all you need to do is fill in these, I don't know what colour you call this, do you call it pink, do you call it salmon, I don't know. So there's 3 boxes for you to fill in. QRZ, which is 2RG104. QRG, channel frequency that you're on, not the channel. You can't put the channel number in. So 27355. RST, that's your signal. So bear in mind you give it the radio ranking first, so 1 to 5 for the clarity of the radio contact, and then the signal. So 5 and 9, 5 and 8, 4 and 3, whatever it is, put it in there. And then you have to obviously move, the mode is always on USB. If it's on LSB, you have to tap LSB, AM, FM, blah, blah, blah. Right. Path, short path, long path, whatever. Leave it on short path. Anything else you want to put in, El Presidente Jeff, whatever you want to put in there. Your QRZ's there, which is your call sign you're on. Then you have the option. You can go spot, which means it just goes on here, in the spots. You can have just log, which means that it goes straight to your log. Or you can have both, spot and log. So that means you'll spot it, everybody will see that you're talking to 104, and they can, I'd like to speak to that 104, in you go. And then when you've done that, you submit it, which is the blue button. As I say, you must do that at round about the time you are filling this out. Otherwise, the spots don't work that out. If you, like me, and you're old school, and you don't want to spot it, you write your contacts down, and then maybe you do them when you get a break, or when you're having a cup of coffee, or tonight while you're watching the TV. So what you'll need to do then is fill them directly in your logbook and not on the spots. Right. So back to the little man, and this time we're going to choose logbook. And again, we go to the plus. These are all my recent logs. Press the plus key, drop box. Again, fill it out. The pinky salmony ones, you must fill in. So QRZ, 2 Romeo Golf RG 104. When you hit the date, the QTR, that's the date and time. When you tap the box, you get an option. You can, month, it will come up on today's date, highlighted in blue. And when you first use it, it will come up on the time of this. Now, if you put one in now at 12:17, it will still show as 12:17 when you come to do the next one. You will have to rotate this to go up and down the times to where you want them. So your time and your date goes in there. Bear in mind it's filled out differently to the American way of doing it. Over in Europe, we do the number of the day first, then the month, then the year, and the time will be in UTC. And that gets picked up automatically when you tell it where you are earlier. QRG is again 2755, 355 or whatever frequency you're on, and again the RST. So again we're looking at radio 5, signal 9, 59, whatever. So you just tap that on that and you type in 59. If you want to put your own received report in, you can put it in that box there. And again, then you pick up on your mode. So you need to change to LSB if you're on 355 on the Romeo Golfs. Path, short path. Any comment you want to put in here, you might want to put the guy's name and location. Jeff's Arkansas or whatever you want to put in there. If you want to do, if you want to put information in for a card, if you're going to do a card, a traditional paper QSL, you can put that in here. So the date that you're going to send it, the date you receive it, so it acts as a log and you can see what's going on. Any information you want to put in, like your contact's address or whatever. Now, important, eQSL. Do we want to send this bloke an eQSL? Well, that's what we're here for, isn't it, really? We want to send an eQSL. So what you must do is change this checkbox from no to yes. I did confuse everybody last night by saying it's blue, and as you can obviously see, it's green. If you don't check that yes, it will not send a card. Now, bear in mind the system, like Cluster DX, will only send a card if the other person is registered with 11DX. So if you're going to send Jeff a card who is on 11DX, then you just check yes. And then you add your log. So you tap the blue button at the end. Now, for those that were asking last night who couldn't get their head around it at 11:30 UK time last night, this is the box that you check to send it. It won't tell you that it's sent it. It will just do it automatically. Nothing will flash up that says you've sent a QSL card. Right? It will just automatically send it to it. I will show you something else in a minute that is a good reason for using 11DX for people that you talk to that are not on 11DX. But I'll do that at the end. So as I say, hit the blue bar and it will automatically, if they are on 11DX, send them a card. I hope you've got that, because that is important. So that's how you send your eQSL cards. Now there's two, if you've got ESLQ cards coming in, there's two ways of picking them up. If you go back to the front screen, as I said, down here, there is your eQSL inbox. If you've got anything new, it'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever it is new. If you hit the blue bar, it will take you to this screen. This is basically who you've spoke to, and the QRZ you were using. Bear in mind you can use more than one call sign on it, and all you do is you tap on this line here, says eQSL. You tap on this little card and it gives you this option. You can print it, you print it in a US letter size, or you can put it on the screen, and there's the card. Right. Now you can actually download it direct onto the machine, or you can make it a sensible size and do a screenshot and cut it, whatever you want to do. And that is the standard QSL card that if you don't put one of your own in, the 11DX will put one in for you. You'll have your information on and a little map of wherever you are, whether it's the States or somewhere else. This guy was in Argentina, so there you go. So you can download on the blue bar here, and it'll download it to wherever everything saves on your computer. The other way of picking your cards up is if you go to the little man and you go to reverse eQSL, it will take you, it will take you to that exact same thing again. And there you go. You find the one you want. There's normally a marking on it. I can't think what it is that tells you if it's a new one, but it's normally the top one anyhow. It's very rarely not. And you just open up the QSL card. Mine asks, do you want it on the screen? Yes. And there's your QSL card from whatever you've received last time round. And that's how you find your eQSL cards. Once you've opened that up, that number will go away from the back to the front screen. Wow, this video is long. Once you open it up, it will tell you that it's been opened by going back to 0, or once you've opened as many as 0. Right, just one final thing. I'm just going to log out, and I can't do this. I can't do this properly because obviously it recognises me. The big thing with 11DX that you get that you don't get with any other, that you don't get with Cluster DX. If you speak to somebody who hasn't got an account with 11DX, you can still go through this process of putting a card on the system for them. And all they do is they come to this login box. Now bear in mind they can't log in because they're not an 11DX. And down here it says, got referred, ? Right. Click here. So if they tap on that, they get this box. And what they do is in this top box, bearing in mind again, the pinky salmon boxes are the ones that need to be filled in. If they put their QRZ, their call sign in there, whatever it may be, and bear in mind they need to put in exactly what you've logged. So if one of your American friends tells you this is just number 43, don't log him as 2 question mark, or XX43, because he'll never know what you've done. You really need him to have a proper call sign, like a Romeo Golf number. That goes in, he puts that in there, he taps in there, he gets a drop down box for the date of the contact. So today is the 6th, so he taps on that. And then there's a capture thing, you know, the one with the squares on, where you have to tap telephone lines or cars, bumpers, or whatever it is. Clicks the I'm not a robot, he does the capture, and providing that he's matched up with what you've put on, his QSL card will be waiting for him. You can't do that with Cluster DX. So that is the big thing with this. You don't have to be an 11DX member to pick up your call sign, providing your card, providing that whoever's logged you has put it on the system. Right, I'm sorry, I didn't intend this to be 25 minutes long. It'd probably been better busting it up into 2 parts. If you've stuck with me this far, I hope it's made sense to you. What you can do is sort of dip in and out of this while you're trying to do it, and hopefully that should help you. If not, if you got any more questions, give us a shout. You know to get hold to me. You can get hold to me on the messenger. I'm in Zello room most afternoon Eastern times, evening in the UK. Even if I'm not there, just shout up, because I've normally got it on in the background while I'm doing other things. So if you've got any questions, just get in touch and I'll do my best. Just to reiterate what I said at the very start, and what Jeff was putting across last night, it looks a lot old to take in, and it all seems very straightforward to me, because I've been using it for 3 or 4 years. But I promise you, once you've done the first few and you begin to understand what's what, and I know you're not all familiar with the Q code, so maybe get yourself a copy of that on the side so you remember what's what, but there's always a bit of a guideline in each box anyhow to what they're looking for. But once you've done these 2, 3, 4 times, I tell you, you'll find it ever so easily. And the amount of people that just sit there with a mic in one hand and typing everything in on the other hand is unbelievable. QSL cards landing before you've got off the conversations. You will get used to it, and once you have, you will get a great deal of pleasure out of it. Right, I'll leave it all with you. I wish you all best 73s and 51s and all the big numbers, and I hope to catch up with you soon. If not on the airwaves, then obviously on the old Zello. Right, thanks for listening, and have a good day. Catch you soon. Bye.